Let's go back to the mid-70s. Barnaby Jones.
Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen.
How many times did that voice guy
Also starring
record
Lee
that?
Merriweather.
Give it one more time
Guest
for us, Jim.
stars.
Barnaby Jones. One more time, Jim. Barnaby Jones. Give us about 3 in a row, Jim. Barnaby Jones. Barnaby Jones. Barnaby Jones. Sheesh. Wow. Yeah, you right. It is a Monday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you. Another glorious day. How many days in a row is this with just absolutely outstanding New Orleans Gulf Coast weather? It's like about, 15, 16 days in a row, something like that. Absolutely ridiculously nice weather. Get outside and enjoy it. I went and had some Fausto's for lunch, sat outside. I think it was 75 degrees at lunch. It's like 78, and it feels really great. That humidity, 37%. That is utterly ridiculously low. So, you can't get lower than than the temperature. 78 feels like 78. It's 78 feels like 72 for us. It's really nice outside. Plus, it's 4 in the afternoon. This is like the hottest time of the day, and it's really nice. Temperatures overnight should wake up in the 60s again tomorrow morning, 50s on the North Shore, Trey Yen country. Yeah, you right. There's a shot at some rain on Wednesday. And then through the weekend, more outstanding weather, 60s and 70s, lower than normal humidity. This is an insane stretch of San Diego, Honolulu type weather. Yeah, you right type weather. Embrace it. Get outside already. What are you waiting for? Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. You found us. Some folks don't even know where we are. Corey's doing a talk show still. It's easy down the dial at the Legacy station. Sadly, New Orleans doesn't have a lot of competition in talk radio. The market really is a talk radio desert. That station doesn't do a good job of competing. The number one talk station in New Orleans is WRNO, 99.5 FM, by far, especially in that coveted male demographic, 25, 54, 35 to 64 years old. They dominate like 2 to 3 to 1. Conservative talk, mostly white males, they kick butt and take names. The Legacy station, it's easy for them. They get an audience by default. I remember one year we were laughing. We had like some religious programming when I was working down there. It pulled like a 6 share. It's impossible. Folks just writing it down. They're not listening to that religious programming. Now, I'm not saying no one's listening down the dial. I'm saying I work there, and you get ratings by default, and to do well, you have to do something. Take it up a notch. And back in the day, I had Buddy D leading into me. I think you had David Tyree leading into Buddy D, Rush Limbaugh leading into that, Andre Trevine. It's just a different era. Now it's, I don't know, FM disc jockeys and politicians and just a different deal. Anyway, they're easy to find. And you get stuck getting lulled into, nothing that tests you, nothing that informs you. You don't learn anything. It's kind of dumbing down the New Orleans market. It's like either the conservative talk and it's national, syndicated, or kind of crummy local talk. You got to put out a little effort to find me. We're not just on top of mind, top of interest. You got to hunt for us a little bit. Spread the word. Tell folks about our radio home. 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine. 93.9. We're on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. Lock and load these into your preset. 600 AM at 4 o'clock takes you from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida, all over the North Shore, South Shore. Sneaky little powerful AM signal that we like being on. Hey, we're on TV till 5:30. Cox Channel 4, all over Louisiana. Spectrum Channel 333, Charter Spectrum Channel 333, all over Louisiana. Live streaming on our website, CoreyTalks.com, which has all the information, TV, radio, YouTube. You can link up to our YouTube channel, something relatively new. We've been doing that the last few months. Click to subscribe. Send the link to someone else, to a friend. Help us out there. Click to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Check us out on YouTube and spread the word. No, it's Real Talk Radio. Finally, I'm not scared to go there. I don't have an agenda. No one's pulling the strings. We don't screen phone calls. We don't cut you off when we disagree. It's different talk radio. Hey, Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, fielding your phone calls on this fabulous weather Monday. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. That's how you dial us up, 766-9480, 766-9480. Love to hear from you. Got a lot of interesting topics. For you on this Monday. Hey, I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate or two to give away. 50 big bucks at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse. Besides the Saints, remember we asked that trivia question last week about 20 years ago, the Saints were building a new stadium, abandoning the dome, and this NFL trend, build it or we'll abandon the city, go to L.A. New Orleans, Arnie Filco was working with the Saints then, informing the media, these media sessions to inform the media how it works in the NFL, all this stuff. There were 3 sites that they pushed. The Tuberville housing development, tearing that down and building a stadium right there on Canal Street. That's pretty neat, right on the I-10. That would have been pretty cool. One on the riverfront by the convention center. That would have been pretty cool. And then one that was just crazy out the box that Buddy D was embracing. The Mississippi Gulf Coast. They had 3 things they were talking about. One was pre-Katrina. Hey, we'll build a Saints stadium by Stennis, by NASA. Then post-Katrina, it was we'll make Stennis an international airport. And then coming into New Orleans to poach yet another sports entity. They tried to get the Saints and failed. Then they went after another big-time sports entity and failed at that. But Mississippi, give them credit for being aggressive. Besides the Saints, and that was pre-Katrina, post-Katrina, which other New Orleans sports entity was Mississippi trying to lure to right on the state line, right there by Stennis, a New Orleans sports entity. So they wanted the New Orleans folks still, but it was going to be in Mississippi, benefiting Mississippi. Hey, give them credit. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse if you know the answer to that. And we never did get an answer on that Pontalba question. Which building's city-owned? And who owns the other Pontalba building? Of course, that in the news because of LaToya, the Destroyer, using the city-owned Pontalba. The mayor, the city gets usage of this. Not personal usage. You don't get to live there. Your toothbrush is there, your clothes, your soap in the shower. It's your sheets on the bed. It's not like that. It's not for you to have a rent-free place to live, which the mayor was basically doing. More of that's going to be unveiled, and probably like the upgrade to the flights. The council will get involved, essentially a threat to dock the pay of the mayor, and the rest is history. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Radio, TV, YouTube, however you're checking us out. Love to hear from you. 504-766-9480. Boy, a lot to discuss Too much to discuss. It's crazy. A full slate on this Monday. LSU's choice for head football coach ahead of Nick Saban 22 years ago. Says some crazy, illogical, racist crap. Tommy Tuberville. Hey, it could have been LSU's head coach. That would have been crazy, especially with these comments. Speaking of crazy comments, I think his name is pronounced Kane West. Kane West, not east, north, south, but Kane West had something kind of crazy to say as well publicly. Imagine that. Corey Johnson with you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool socks. NolaAC.com, your cool socks.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on the radio, on television, on YouTube right now. CoreyTalks.com. Go check it out. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And you can check out yesterday, last week, last month's program at your convenience. Yeah, a lot to discuss. Yeah, LSU 22 years ago was trying to lure away Tommy Tuberville from Auburn. That was their choice. That was their target. I believe Tuberville and then Michigan State's Nick Saban shared the same agent out of Memphis. And I believe Sean Toohey, a New Orleanian, Newman basketball star, went to Ole Miss, was a basketball star, moved to Memphis, was the owner of Taco Bell's and other, The Blind Side. That's Sean Toohey. Adopted, Michael Orr, owned Taco Bell's and KFC's and stuff. He's the color analyst for the Memphis Grizzlies. The agent of Tuberville and Saban, and I believe Sean Toohey, or at least friends with him. Memphis agent. They knew each other. Toohey got in touch with, I think, Joe Dean, who he knew, and they, connected him to Emmert, and the rest is history. And Saban, they couldn't get Tuberville, and they suggested Saban, and that's how Saban kind of ended up in Baton Rouge. So the first choice for LSU's football coach 22 years ago was Auburn's Tommy Tuberville. He's an Alabama Republican senator. And he was talking about, so on the campaign trail, it was a rally hosted by Donald Trump. And Tuberville contended that Democrats are for reparations for descendants of slaves because it's just crazy. I'm not laughing. It's just kind of just whacked. He says they think the people who do crime are owed that. They think the people who do crime are owed that. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparations because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. And the audience appeared to kind of foam at their mouths and lather up on that because, truth, logic, all that is irrelevant. I mean, look no further than illegal aliens. And I'm not going to convince most of you that think it's a major problem. I'm not. I wish some college kid would do a dissertation on illegal aliens and making them citizens or kicking them all out and how it would affect and how it does affect having them. Milk costs, chicken, poultry, beef, pork, dairy products of any kind. I said milk, but butter and cream and all that. And then vegetables, fruits, produce, seafood industry. I mean, meat packing industry, go on and on and on and on and on about it. There's a reason illegals, undocumented workers have been here since day one in America. It's nothing new. They're not evil. They're part of the fabric of America. And then make them citizens, make them pay taxes. They do on everything they buy. Sales tax. Do they send money back south of the border? I'm sure a lot of them do to family members there that they're hoping to bring to America. America's always been like this. I'm not saying when there's like an influx of illegals or not. I mean, it goes in waves. It's not just always illegals barreling over the border. It's when economic times are worse there than here. And you can go, they're always better here. Not in a competitive state. Their hometown, their home country, they might do fine if the economy's good there, and coming to America, they're not going to do as well. When the economy's terrible there, or crime's terrible there, or gangs or violence, they want to come to America. It's just politics are easy. You can do the hard thing and be a leader. You can do the hard thing and you can be Republican or Democrat, but be independent, follow common sense and facts, do the right thing, figure out the real problems and come up with real solutions, or you can basically make up problems. The left and right do it. LaToya the Destroyer and Jeff Landry, they're ideologically opposite, and they do the exact same stuff. Racist stuff, black versus white, all of that. Bill Jefferson was great at it, us versus them. Black folks just get, foaming at the mouth to go vote. Vote against Whitey, that devil. And nothing about black people or white people's problems and how Congressman Bill Jefferson's going to fix them. Jeff Landry's going to do it running for governor. Us versus them, the liberal Democrats, wink, wink, Canadians, blacks, There's code for that. Tommy Tuberville, just insane, crazy logic. Contends Democrats back reparations for defendants of slavery because they think the people who do crime are owed that. Where's the logical connection to that? I'm lost. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparations because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Who thinks even like that? That's hard to come up with, that zany craziness. If I was like, how do you get a hardcore, wacky right-wing crowd foaming at the mouth? And look, you can be Republican and vote for Trump all day. You're not going to the rally, You're not going to the rally. I talk about Republican National Convention, the folks that go. I'm not saying that they're zeros or losers or someone saying they got a different kind of life. They're very into politics. Most of us, politics are like a evil, a negative, something we just have to deal with the best we can. They like it. No, so folks that go to this, they eat it up. If you're like the script writer, the author for this, it's just like, I don't know if Hollywood, like Quentin Tarantino, can come up with this angle. It's craziness. Old Kane West, whatever. Just, only in America. Seriously, only in America. I'm just curious. Can Kane West play a single musical instrument? Any musical instrument? Can he keep rhythm with a stick and a cowbell? And you can go whatever, Corey. I'm just asking. Take that however you want. But anyway, because I don't know, call him musician or what, fashion designer. I'll tell you what, he's ignorant. Slavery sounded like a choice. You remember that one a few years ago? Slavery sounded like a choice. Yeah. Black folks back then were, do I want to be free or do I want to be a slave? You're right on it, Kane West. And then the latest, DEFCON 3. DEFCON. Not DEFCON, death. DEFCON 3 on Jewish people in capitals. You guys have, what does he say? You guys have to treat me. Can't even read my own writing. Oh, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anything and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone, whoever, one word, opposes your agenda. Jewish people. Look, you can go, Corey, you have no idea what you're talking about. That's fine. That's what's great about talk radio. I'm not sitting here and going to tell you I'm some expert on Kane West and his music and his fashion and all of that. But Kane West, should be real happy. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions coming. He might be near $1 billion now. Only in America. Only in America. There are all kind of folks that make a you-know-what pile of money in the United States of America. But Kane West, slavery sounded like a choice. I mean, that should just be like, you're done. Total ignorance and stupidity. I mean, what can you possibly say that has value after you said that? DEFCON 3, death, D-E-A-T-H, death, not deaf, D-E-F, DEFCON, D-E-F-C-O-N. Wow, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Yeah, that's just sort of a no-no. Death and Jewish people, probably not the best thing to put together. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. Boy, between Tommy Tuberville and Kane West, just some absolute lunacy. Tommy Tuberville will probably win re-election, and Kane West can come out with his next album or fashion design, whatever, and he'll probably do really well with it. DEFCON. Sheesh. Wow. Well, it's tooling around the Earhart Expressway the last week or so, like many of us do in the metro New Orleans area. Some nice upgrades to the Earhart Expressway. Smoothing it out, doing some good work. Hopefully they do more. I'll fill you in next.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, no cool spots.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Milwaukee Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
What's your name? Putting in things.
Where did I eat and had to leave mid-meal yesterday? Started with a waffle and then the gray meat that they were making the hamburger with. I said, is that really the hamburger y'all cooking for me? I said, yeah. And I said, okay, I'm ready to go now. And left. I did finish the waffle and had a Coke. I'll give you a hint. Shaved ice, I guess, is how you describe the ice they use at this particular place. Gray meat for the hamburger. That was a nice touch. The place is notoriously dirty. It could be easily upgraded and be great and make more money. But in my opinion, the lazy owner makes money how it is being run, and they're going to just keep running it like it is. And my sorry, needs to stop giving it another chance. Like 3, 4, 5 disappointing meals in a row. It's time to just throw in the towel. It's got to be like perfect conditions. You go in, no one's there. The waiter's in a good mood. He's focused on you. The chef's in a good mood. The cook's in a good mood. They're focused on you, and you might get something edible. What a shame. Used to be a New Orleans classic. Hey, speaking of, I got some untold or not told enough New Orleans stories coming up in a few minutes. I think you're going to find those interesting. Hey, the phone number to participate in the program is 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Kane West, the man who said about slavery, sounded like a choice. Now about Jewish folks controlling Hollywood. I mean, in all honesty, Jewish folks basically do control Hollywood. Go look at Hollywood, like all the major, production companies in Hollywood where they started. I don't know if there's a non-Jewish person involved in like the 3 or 4 major original studios. And even to this day, watch any movie. Look at the names that come up. It's a ton of Jewish names. It's just how it is. I mean, the Jewish folks founded Hollywood. So for them to still be a major player in the business decades later, that's surprising. 100 years later even. Is it more diverse than it's ever been? Of course. Over the top diverse. Hollywood woke diverse. I've often said this, like, you could have a Vietnam vet who fought in Vietnam, who isn't very worldly or observes things well and comes back and couldn't tell you about it, as well as a professor that never, ever went to Vietnam, but has interviewed 1,000 people that have been. Now, I'm going to go with the Vietnam guy that really doesn't articulate well and doesn't remember well and didn't observe well. I'm going to go with him because he was there compared to the professor. And, so I don't know. Hollywood kind of does that same kind of mentality. Let's go. It's a Spanish role. It's got to be a Spanish person. It's a black role. It's got to be a black person. I'm in agreement with those kind of things. That's simple. But if it's some marginal role where it's 3rd, 4th, 5th generation, you don't know if they're Latino anymore or American or Jewish or Middle Eastern or Italian or whatever. You got to still get the same dude for that, or you can get the best actor available.
Anyway, no, I mean, it gets over the top. Things are just commonsensical and easy. It's the extremes that wear us out on anything. On anything. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. The mayor in the news, living at the Pontalba. Which Pontalba building is city-owned? And who owns the other one? Two separate questions. Two $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Pre-Katrina, Mississippi tried to lure the Saints to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, to the Stennis area by NASA in Mississippi, by building a Saints stadium there. It didn't work out. Post-Katrina, that same area, Mississippi, trying to lure another New Orleans sports entity to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Post-Katrina. Give me the answer to that. What's that sports entity local? That obviously stayed. Give me the answer. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, Fury's is open till 9 p.m. tonight. Gumbo or turtle soup to start. Depending on how many people in your party, either a small or large order of onion rings. Then get some of their great New Orleans specialties or some of that fresh local seafood like speckled trout, like snapper, flounder. Local, fresh, the best. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, open till 9 p.m. tonight. Yeah, I was tooling around the Earhart Expressway the last week or so. It's amazing the work they're doing where I guess you had some little lips or little gugunk, 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 and they're taking out that chunk of concrete, I guess a few feet on either side, and they're putting in new stuff, and it's smoothly blending over like you'd never know it's there. You can visually see it, but I don't know. A lot of the time we do stuff in New Orleans and, it's not smooth. It's a hump. It's lower. It's not like it's original. And this is like original. It's like the Earhart's getting a major facelift to be like brand newish again. No, and just so far what I've seen, it's going pretty well. Now, if we only could hook the Earhart Expressway up to something. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, the Earhart Expressway, for starters, it ends at Hickory Dickory Dock, Mouse Clock Street right there in Harahan River Ridge. But if you notice, the Earhart, that's the exit. The Earhart's, the center of it's still 3 lanes in each direction that's supposed to continue west. Over, what is that? I guess Hickory. And then come down by the railroad tracks, paralleling Airline Highway and going west. Through to the airport, through to the I-510. Excuse me, the I-310. Out in the west. You should be able to get on the Earhart Expressway in Holly Grove, and it should end at I-310 like you're going to LaRose. You're going to Luling, Destrehan. You could go to the airport. You could go to the airport from Holly Grove. No lights. Instead, it ends at Hickory Dickory Dock. And it's not, there are no exits. The deck bar exit to get to Oshner's fantastic. I get it. Major hospital, even more so now than ever. Why can't you get on at deck bar to go west? You only can get on deck bar to go back to Holly Grove or Holly Grove to Oshner. It's crazy. And then there's no exit on the Earhart at Causeway Boulevard? Really? You see all the entrances and exits on the Earhart that don't go to anywhere? Originally built back in around 84, like 40 years ago, the Earhart Expressway. 40 years ago. It should seamlessly hook up to the UEP Long Bridge so you can bypass Elmwood. You could do it right at Central, where the UEP Long Bridge train trellis starts going up. You could hook the roadway on either side of that and connect to the existing roadway and bypass Elmwood entirely. Elmwood would be an exit. UEP Long Bridge you'd stay left on the Earhart and go straight to the UEP Long. It's amazing that it's not hooked up that way. I'll end it with this because they're doing a good job smoothing it out and making it nice again. But if you're coming into New Orleans from Harahan on the Earhart, right by the parish line, as that bridge goes up at the parish line, there's an exit to the right that just goes into some weeds. It's not an exit. That would be an airline highway exit. You would go under the bridge, turn left under the bridge, and it would put you out by, I hate to even say it, Jesuit High School's little baseball diamond. Yay! I'm a De La Salle guy. Me, no likey Jesuit. Anyway, I don't mind Jesuit. My dad went there. I went to Jesuit for 8th grade. Worst year of my life. Anyway, everybody. I was talking to one guy talking about Jesuit's the best high school in America. I'm like, you're a 40-year-old man. Are you serious? Is that what do you know any other high schools in America? What are you judging it against? Stop saying silly stuff like that. Only from a Jesuit guy. Geesh. Anyway, you would exit to the right of that overpass at the parish line coming into New Orleans, go under the bridge right by the Jesuit field, put you on L&A Road, Cold Storage Road, pop you out on Airline right there. That would be an airline highway exit for the Earhart Expressway. How convenient would that be? And then when you come up on the bridge, there's like a little exit peeling off at the top of the bridge. That would put you down on Claiborne. Right by the Lowe's, right by the parish line. How convenient would that be? Anyway, I like the smoothing up of the Earhart, making it like new again. But my God, could we hook the exits and entrances up? Could we expand it once again through to the airport, eventually to the I-310? Could we do that? Corey Johnson with you. I got some great untold or not told enough New Orleans stories. From Michelle Obama, freshman roommate at Princeton. Have you heard this one? Newman girl is in her. That's her roommate is a Newman girl, white girl. Mommy, I'm not. My girl's from the South. She can't room with a black girl. Pulls her daughter out of the dorm. I think after a semester with Michelle Obama. Any regrets now? I think it is her name's Catherine Rodrigue Donnelly, who has a lot of regrets now, actually, she says. And not financially, like just the racial part, just so wrong. No, that's something you don't know. Disney World, how New Orleans got the Saints. A lot coming your way. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
This weather is painting weather. Knock out some painting chores around the house. Helm Paint and Decorating's there to help you get the job done right. They truly will steer you in the right direction. High quality Benjamin Moore products, 25-year guarantee, lifetime guarantee, lots of different price points. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans so you can keep working. That Ben line of Benjamin Moore paint, super high quality, great coverage, and lower price point than the competition. Check for yourself. Helm Paint and Decorating, they've got everything for everybody. When you want to paint in Metro New Orleans, you go to Helm Paint and Decorating. A no-brainer. Brett, in about 40 minutes. Stick around for that. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell in the news, living at a city-owned Pontalba apartment, living there. You know, usage is one thing. Living there is another. Personal use is not usage. It's not for personal use. It's for official city business only. The mayor knows that, just says, you know, it's like the first-class airline tickets. But when finally pressured, the council's going to dock her pay. The CAO looks, all kind of snaking around. Finally, they're like, okay, we're going to pay that back. May have to pay back the $27,000 and counting in rent. And that's a bargain. $3,000 a month for that place is a bargain, a steal. I own that place. You own that place. Any normal person renting it, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. It's one of the best apartments in the country. It's second floor balcony overlooking Jackson Square and the Mississippi River in New Orleans. Are you kidding? Highly coveted apartment. Could be a magazine. Top 20 apartments in America. That might be one. Seriously. Boy, those Pontalba buildings, such a political scam. So many connected people jumping ahead of the line. People that shouldn't be there. All that's going to be exposed in the future. That all needs to be. It's typical Louisiana politics with the Pontalba buildings. The city owns one. Which one?
And who owns the other? What entity owns the other Pontalba apartment? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Hey, we had a trivia question last week. Saints were trying to build a new stadium 20-something years ago. Leave the dome, build a new stadium in New Orleans. It was the trend league-wide before they decided to reinvest in the Superdome and keep the Saints long-term. The Saints pitched 3 different spots for the potential stadium. 2 of them were pretty cool. The old Tuberville housing development, also the riverfront by the convention center, by the Crescent City Connection. The third one was insane. I remember Buddy D was embracing it. I'm like, Buddy, it ain't happening. Southern Mississippi, like by Stennis. Hey, we'll build you a Saints stadium. Have the New Orleans Saints be the Louisiana Saints, the Gulf Coast Saints, and they can play their games in Mississippi. Keep calling them the New Orleans Saints, but they're going to play in Mississippi. 40 miles from the dome. Less than 40 miles from the dome. It never happened. Hey, besides the Saints, that was pre-Katrina. Post-Katrina, Mississippi floated the idea to another local sports entity. You should build in southern Mississippi by Stennis. They were trying to make Stennis an international airport for commercial flights. That did not work out. Yeah, some untold stories. We'll hit on them in the 5 o'clock powwow as well. Michelle Obama's freshman roommate, a Newman High School girl, one of the best high schools in the country, Newman on Jefferson Avenue. This is late 70s, 78, 79, 80, something like that. New Orleans girl, Catherine Rodrigue, now Catherine Rodrigue Donnelly. Her mother was a science teacher, Miss Rodrigue at Newman. She gets accepted to Princeton, goes and checks in the dorm, and Michelle Obama was her roommate. The mom goes to Princeton. Folks say, look, we're from the South, not used to living with black people. I mean, just insane, beyond embarrassing. Catherine Rodrigue Donnelly is upset about it to this day, like she thinks it's embarrassing and learned so much from the experience. No, I'm sure she did fine in life. She went to Newman, It's kind of hard to screw that up. But some do, but it's kind of hard to screw that up. But think if she would have connected to Michelle Obama, where would she be today? Lady was first lady. Wow. Disney World on the North Shore instead of Orlando. We lost on that one. We lost. And no one kind of gets that. Probably the worst defeat in New Orleans history. And it's like not even close. Our biggest defeat in New Orleans history. Orlando was a town with some orange groves. Now it's a major city with a pro sports franchise. Disney World, we have 15 million tourists a year. They have 50 million tourists a year. We have 15. They have 50. They have 2.5 million in the metro area, double Metro New Orleans' size. Disney World is the main mover on all of that. Walt Disney wanted to come to the North Shore of New Orleans. But one of the great lines from Disney was when he was picking Florida or leaning towards Florida, he's like, man, every time I go to Florida, I ask for something, they give it to me. Every time I go to Louisiana, they're asking for something. It's a payout in Louisiana. They're paying me to go to Florida. And he felt it'll always be like that. Louisiana will always be a handout, these hack petitions, and Florida will always be giving me whatever I want. Walt Disney World on the North Shore of New Orleans. Probably the worst defeat in New Orleans history. And maybe the start of our decline. Because that's the mentality. How many other folks wanted to come here and it was, hey, what are you going to pay me? And then it's like, Texas is giving us money. What's another one? Oh, yeah, the story of the Saints, how the Saints came to be. Dave Dixon, Hale Boggs, Pete Rozelle, the rotunda of the Capitol in D.C. Amazing story there that's not told enough. Dave Dixon used to come on my show and tell it all the time. It's a beautiful story. Corey Johnson with you, 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. 5 o'clock power hour next.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
I've got some Scooby snacks to give away. All right, maybe a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate or two. Corey Johnson with you. Scooby-Doo, I repeat, not coming your way. No Shaggy, none of that. But we do have number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. I think it's pronounced Brees. Number 9, please. Number 9. Drew Brees, La Jolla, come in. Yeah, you, right. Crescent City and beyond. 5 o'clock powwow coming your way on a glorious Monday. Get outside, drop some coals, do some grilling, because you'll be doing some chilling with this weather. I'm a rapper and I didn't even know it. Now, if you go buy some at the department store and you need it wrapped, I'm in the back wrapping. I can rap really well. Oh, boy. Speaking of rapping well, I think his name is pronounced Kane West. Kane West. DEFCON 3. Not DEFCON, DEFCON. To Jewish people. Because by golly, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda. I should know. I have no money. Kane West. A Jewish rant. I don't know which one's worse, Kane West or LSU's choice for head coach of the football team 22 years ago. It wasn't Nick Saban. He was a secondary choice. It was Tommy Tuberville. And his comments are incredible. Tommy Tuberville, who is an Alabama Republican senator, he was pushing a racist narrative about black folks and crime at a campaign rally hosted by former President Trump back on Saturday night. Tuberville contended that Democrats back reparations, descendants of slavery, because, quote, they think the people who do crime are owed that. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. Hey, man, I'm pro-crime. That goes in the they like jail category. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparations because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Slavery reparations are for black criminals. I mean, thank you, Tommy Tuberville. I'm not for reparations, not in like a cash form. I got no problem for black folks, redlining where you're not getting mortgages, things like that. Open that up, make it easier to get a mortgage. United Negro College Fund, things like that. Who's against that? Who's against that? But Tommy Tuberville just, first off, how did you coach college football players that were black all this time when you think just insane, crazy? You're full of crap the whole time? You just a charlatan? No, I'm not racist at all. I love those black players. I just think the reparations for descendants of slavery it's to pay the criminals that are black. I mean, just crazy, illogical, irrational. I mean, Republicans and Democrats, the extreme sides, creating things that aren't real, and then the voters just embracing that is how you win elections. You don't want to tell people the problems and how to fix it, because that could be hard. Taking a step backwards to go 2 forward. Stuff like that. People want just something they're mad at, someone they can blame, and then they go run out and vote, and these loser politicians get elected over and over again and do nothing for us. That's the game plan for the extreme left and the extreme right. It's sad, and we buy into it all the time.
Anyway, this was the LSU's first choice for head football coach. Tuberville could have been it in 2000. Would have been no Saban era. Would have been no Miles era, I guess, or Ogeron or any of that. I don't know. Or maybe Tuberville would have been really successful at LSU, even though he says crazy, illogical, irrational stuff about black folks, apparently. No, you couldn't come up with this. This is like, just insane craziness, and the crowd was loving it. I don't know how you could come up with something this crazy, just like if you were trying. Seriously. How would you come up with that if you were trying? Hey, dude, bring up slavery and reparations and just say the Democrats are for those reparations. So they want to give the money to criminals. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. Just say pro-crime. Like, they're pro-pain, not the gas. Pain. They're for pain. They want you to suffer. They like suffering. I mean, and the crowd's like foaming at the mouth. They love it. They eat it up. Extremes are easy. First off, extremists wear their emotions on their sleeve. You just it's like toss out the fishing line, just lure them in. Easy. Kane West, Tommy Tuberville. Idiot number 1 and idiot number 2 on this Monday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, Monday afternoon. I was talking about New Orleans stories that maybe aren't talked about much at all. Like, I would say most New Orleanians have no idea that Michelle Obama's Princeton roommate, her dorm mate freshman year, was a New Orleans girl from Newman High School. Hyper intelligent. Her mother was a teacher at Newman. They get the dorm assignment at Princeton. And they're like, they run to the dorm. People are like, we're from New Orleans. We're from the Deep South. We're not used to living with black people. My daughter needs to go into another dorm room. Sans the black girl. Geesh. The black girl became first lady. No, not a lot of folks know that Michelle Obama's friend roommate was girl Catherine Rodriguez Donnelly of Newman High School in New Orleans, who demanded to move into another dorm. Now, I think Princeton was like, screw you, you're stuck, at least till Christmas. And I think that's when they switched up. And now Catherine Rodriguez Donnelly she's very upfront about it. She's like, it's embarrassing time in my life. My mom was raised wrong. The mother says, blames it on the father in North Carolina and just racist crap. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. What are they lying? What would they no benefit? It's not like Michelle Obama's like, oh, great, let's reach out and let's go have dinner. She could care less. She's like, you're lost, rear view mirror. And I don't think Catherine Rodriguez Donnelly is in, a struggle mode or anything like that. She went to Newman. Usually you do pretty well coming out of that school. Anyway, not a lot of folks know that story. Disney World on the North Shore, instead going to Orlando because New Orleans was all about, and Louisiana. Hey, Walt Disney, pay us some money, pay us off. We need a kickback. And then he goes to Florida, and they're like, "What do you need? Yeah, we'll give you that. Yes, you get that tax break. No, we'll build that road for you. No, do that, and we'll do it. Yes, we'll give you that." And then Walt Disney came to the conclusion after a few trips to both places. And supposedly he preferred New Orleans and the North Shore. Infrastructure, so many things already in place, major airport, major city population, all of this. But he said to one of his confidants reportedly that, boy, in Florida, anything I ask for, they give it to me. They just given me anything I want. Louisiana, they keep asking me. They want a handout, payoff. Neither's going to change. It's not going to stop. Do I want to go somewhere where they're always going to be asking me for something? Or do I want to go somewhere where they're always going to be giving me what I ask for? And that's the end of that. Louisiana, New Orleans politics wrecked it. And a lot of you losers out there embrace these hack politicians, from Mark Morial to, because he's black and I'm black. We don't have many black politicians. Mark's a good guy. I met Mark. Mark had one of the most corrupt, mayoral administrations in New Orleans history. And everyone black knows that. Google it and look it up. I mean, who didn't get indicted in the Morial administration? And then Morial isn't even involved in New Orleans politics. Who would have thought that 25 years ago, that he would disappear and never influence any political race in New Orleans ever? Barely is here ever discussing New Orleans. To me, that's the Fed saying, we're coming after you and Jacques full bore, or you get out of here and quit influencing New Orleans elections. And that is what I think went down with Mark Morial. But no, beloved in the black community like Bill Jefferson, Edwin Edwards. Look at Jeff Landry running for governor. I mean, it's just like the state of misfit toys, the island of misfit toys when it comes to our political, the people we elect that run for office. The Alario, Heitmeyer brothers. I mean, it's nauseating. Just ridiculous, Edwin Edwards. A clown, a hack, a joker. No, but loser folks that have some problem they refuse to, address. They embrace these jokers, these clowns that really screw you over. I don't get it. I don't like abuse. Me don't like abuse.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro,
Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris
The
Road.
lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon. A glorious weather day. Get outside and enjoy it already. It doesn't get any better than this. It really doesn't. Thanks for checking us out. 5 o'clock power hour. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM on the radio. 93.9 FM. We're all over New Orleans till 5:30. I don't know, another 10 minutes on television. Cox Channel 4 TV, all over Louisiana. Spectrum Channel 333, all over Louisiana. Hey, we're on YouTube right now. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Send the link to your friends and family. Yeah, click to subscribe. Doesn't cost a dime. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. Telling some untold or not told enough stories, New Orleans stories, like Michelle Obama's freshman roommate was a Newman girl that wanted out of the dorm room at Princeton because Michelle Obama was black, and her mom was like, we're not used to living or associating with colored people. Nice. Disney World wanted to go to the North Shore. Orlando and Florida kept giving Walt Disney. Louisiana politicians kept asking from Walt Disney. He told folks, confidants, that it'll never change. And the rest is history. Probably the worst defeat in New Orleans history that no one talks about. Maybe the start of our decline. Because if we're going to try to get payoffs from Walt Disney, it's going to be everybody. There are probably a lot of companies in the 60s and 70s that went to Houston, Dallas, Atlanta that wanted to come to New Orleans, that wanted to come to a place that has culture and history and architecture and food and music and a vibe. Instead, they went to these generic places because they ran the business part of it right. And those places, explosive growth, and New Orleans has suffered. Boy, speaking of explosive growth, post-World War II, New Orleans had incredible growth. You think about how the Saints came to be. Dave Dixon, father of the Saints, father of the Superdome. It was Dave Dixon working with Louisiana's congressional delegation, which was the strongest in the United States of America. The NFL in the mid-'60s wanted to merge with the AFL, but that would form a monopoly sort of against capitalism. So to circumvent these laws, they had to work out a little deal. I'll fill you in on that deal in a second. First, back to the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480, 766-9480. That's how Danny dialed us up. What up, Danny?
Hey, what's going on?
What up, dude?
Just making my way back.
10?
Yeah, I'm already on Highway 90.
There you go. 90 or 608 or whatever it is?
Well, I'm on 608, about to hit 90.
There you
You're
go.
right.
There you go. You got about, 15 minutes in front of you till you're home, huh?
That's right. I just wanted to tell you a little story, going along with what you were saying, is that I was at a friend's funeral in Tennessee about 4 weeks ago, and talking after the funeral to this young executive with Buc-ee's, the place, the big store in Alabama.
Their first, the Texas-based store. Their first,
Texas.
Their first outside of Texas store, Danny, was Baton Rouge. And then all of a sudden, it was like 2016, 2017. Then all of a sudden, they're like, we're not going to build in Baton Rouge. And they've expanded about, 6, 8 states. They got about 60, 70 locations now, none in Louisiana. And they're building one right by you, Menge Avenue, right near Bay St. Louis. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine. I mean, so we were just chatting, and I said, what about Louisiana? Because I know you're building on Menge. He said, we're building not only on Menge, he says, we're probably going to go on exit 2 in Mississippi. We're trying to get as close to Louisiana as we can. He goes, but we're not going into Louisiana because politicians have their hands out, and we're just not going there. And then he said that they want to be in Louisiana, but they're just not going to do it.
And this was a Buc-ee's guy that does location
marketing executive that was probably in his early 30s.
Wow. And he's literally saying that about Louisiana to you.
Yes. Confidentially at a funeral.
No, of course. But you're just, hey, I'm a Louisiana boy. When you coming to Louisiana, whatever. And I live right by Mississippi. Got the one on Menge. We'd rather go to Ed2 and get by Louisiana, which is amazing because what is Menge? Exit 18 or 16?
24.
Oh, it is?
24.
It's 24. It's that far in. Okay. Now, that would make sense. Maybe 20 miles away and closer. Mm-hmm. That one on Menge, I guess, would be like the Gulfport, Biloxi folks, and the one at 2 would be like the Slidell folks and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's typical, Danny, and I think we've lost a lot because of that. We're not...
you didn't.
Go ahead.
I don't even know if you didn't mention, but I'm sure you know about the oil and gas. I work in the oil and gas industry. Oil and gas royalties was totally screwed up by Louisiana politicians.
Oh, that was what? Huh?
I thought it was Leander Perez, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's Leander Perez. Yeah, he screwed that up in the 40s and 50s for us.
That was billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. The streets of Louisiana should be paved in gold. You're right. They should have got.
No, the amount of money that oil companies have made off of Louisiana and it's hundreds of billions of dollars in our resources that we've given away essentially, and worse, they've wrecked the house. It's like you're renting out the apartment, and when they leave, it's demolished on the inside. Yep. And we allowed them to demolish it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
Nuts. Isn't that sad, Danny? I don't know why we're so broken, why we allow this. There's so many great people in Louisiana. We've got so many great people. And then, I don't know, we just have, I guess, a larger percentage than normal of kind of second-rate loser types that settle. And we just keep electing the same jokers. I mean, look at New Orleans. All Democrat, LaToya Cantrell. Look at Louisiana. All Republican. We're getting Jeff Landry as a governor. You can't win with that, Danny. It's impossible to win with that.
No. But I don't know if it's just a laid back culture or what it is, but it could be a lot better, that's for sure.
Yeah. I love our laid back culture. I love the weekend. I love that we party. We just got to do a better job 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, man. We stink at that, huh?
Right. Exactly.
All right, Danny.
All right.
Thanks a lot for the call. I appreciate it.
Okay.
That's Danny dialing us up, beelining towards Bay St. Louis on Highway 90 as we speak in Mississippi. Went to a funeral in Tennessee, a state that's just been exploding. It wasn't even a city in that state 30, 40, 50 years ago. Now you have Nashville, Memphis. Even Nashville. No, he says he's at a funeral and bumps into a Buc-ee's guy. Man, I'm a New Orleans guy, Louisiana guy. I live right by Mississippi. I know you're building that Buc-ee's on Menge. When you coming to Louisiana? We're not going to Louisiana. Politicians. No, the first Buc-ee's outside of Texas. Google it. It was going to that area north of Baton Rouge up I-12 where the Bass Pro Shop is. Buc-ee's was building right there. Their first store outside of Texas. This was 2016, 2017. So 5-6 years ago, the deal was done. And then Buc-ee says, we wanted to get some other sites in Louisiana and we couldn't work out the deal. So we're not doing any. Doesn't even make sense. Build the one and then you get the sites later. You'll find other land. It's all BS. It's what Danny said the politicians wrecked it for us. Isn't that mind-blowing? And go to the Buc-ee's website. They're all over the place, all over the South, all over. I don't care about Buc-ee's. I'm probably not going to go to Buc-ee's that often. It's like I say about like Canal Street. The Saks Fifth Avenue, we need all of that. You need a Neiman Marcus. You need whatever. And I'm bringing up stuff that probably isn't even around anymore. Nike Town or, the Gap. We need national chains that are high-end stores up and down the street. A lot of those places, I'm not going to be able to afford the stuff. I still want it if I go there or not. I want Buc-ee's because people go there. It's popular. It makes money. Employs a lot of people. It's millions of dollars in land acquisition, tens of millions of dollars in construction. No, I want a Buc-ee's. Are you kidding? No, it's just something wrong. There wasn't anything wrong in the 50s and 60s. It was the opposite. Louisiana was a juggernaut, a powerhouse. Think about this. This is how we got the New Orleans Saints. Hale Boggs was the House Majority Leader. So Hale Boggs controlled the House. He was the leader. Russell Long was the Senate Majority Whip and chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. F. Edward Hebert, chairman of the Armed Services Committee. Alan Ellender, president pro tem of the Senate. So Russell Long's the Senate Majority Whip. Ellender's the president pro tem and chairman of Appropriations. And I told you Long was chairman of Senate Finance. So essentially, Russell Long controls the money, and Ellender tells you where it's going to be spent for the whole country. So the NFL was smart. Pete Rozelle was smart. I've got to get to Hale Boggs, Russell Long, Alan Ellender, F. Edward Avery. I got to get with this Louisiana congressional delegation, which is the most powerful in the country by far. Plus, these cats had been in there decades. Dave Dixon tells the story so well. He's been on my show, told it many times. It's just not told enough in New Orleans. It's a great story. Essentially, the NFL, AFL wanted to merge. They were going to collude. They're going to form a monopoly against capitalism, against America. Have to circumvent the, what are those laws called for, can't remember the name of the laws that involve that type of, forming a monopoly, collusion, all that. But basically they had to allow that to happen. And the United States Congress had to approve that, allowing the NFL and AFL to be able to merge to form a monopoly where there's no competition, antitrust laws. That to circumvent the antitrust laws. So basically, Hale Boggs and Russell Long and Alan Ellender, mostly Hale Boggs, we kind of blackmailed the NFL. We say, we'll get you the votes. We'll get you the AFL-NFL merger you want. You give New Orleans the next franchise. New Orleans gets an NFL franchise. And that's the agreement. So the day of the vote, Pete Rozelle's in the rotunda of the Capitol with Dave Dixon. Hale Boggs walks out. And Boggs tells Pete Rozelle, goes, we're going to get the vote today. And Boggs says, you're going to get the vote. You're going to have your merger. And Rozelle's like, fantastic. Boggs goes, New Orleans is getting the next NFL franchise. And Rozelle's like, we're going to work on that. And Boggs lays out a few curse words and says, no vote, you're lying, blah, 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 cursing, turns around and storms off. Dixon's like jaw drops. Rozelle runs after Boggs, grabs him by the arm, spins him around, sticks out his hand and says, next NFL owners meeting, New Orleans gets an NFL franchise. Boggs shakes hands with Rozelle, goes in, the vote is cast, the merger is allowed to happen. The very next NFL owners meeting, like weeks away, there was no expansion on the agenda. All of a sudden, New Orleans is announced franchise. Cincinnati was probably ahead of New Orleans. Some would even argue Seattle or Tampa Bay. 66, you get the Falcons. 67, first year of the Saints. 68, first year of the Bengals. So the NFL literally got blackmailed. And this is the ironic part of the story. Fast forward 30, 40 years later. The monopoly that the powerful Louisiana congressional delegation allowed the NFL to form is the very same monopoly that almost had New Orleans lose the Saints with that threat of 20 years ago, hey, you build a new stadium or we'll move the team. When the Cleveland Browns leave Cleveland, when the Baltimore Colts leave Baltimore, you can bet your rear end the NFL would have no problem pulling the Saints out of New Orleans. So Louisiana's powerful congressional delegation in the mid-'60s allows the NFL to form a monopoly. That very monopoly that the powerful Louisiana congressional delegation allowed to be formed almost lost us the Saints a few generations later. Hale Boggs, Russell Long, Alan Ellender, F. Edward Hebert, we were a juggernaut, man, a powerhouse. Senate, House, just owned it, controlled it. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon, just telling some untold stories or stories that aren't told enough, little New Orleans stuff. Disney World, Michelle Obama's freshman roommate at Princeton, a Newman girl that demanded a new dorm room because she didn't want to live with a black girl. Not used to that being from the South. Crazy. Speaking of, Kane West, DEFCON 3. Death, not DEFCON. DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. You guys toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. This is the same Kane West who a few years ago said slavery sounded like a choice. That Kane West. If that's not good enough, LSU's choice for head football coach ahead of Nick Saban 22 years ago, Tommy Tuberville, a senator from the great state of Alabama. He went on a racist rant about black people and crime and reparations for descendants of slavery. Democrats are for this, Tuberville says, quote, they think the people who do crime are owed that. They're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparations because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. I don't even know where to begin with that. It's so zany, illogical, irrational, hard to follow, makes no sense, and the crowd loved it and foamed at the mouth. I mean, you could have gone up there and to that crowd and just said, spaghetti and meatballs, cinder block, you're going 50 on the interstate, loopity-loop, I like SpaghettiOs, and drink water. I go crazy. I mean, none of that made any sense at all, and it's just racist and insane. Tommy Tuberville was almost the LSU football coach, the choice for football coach ahead of Nick Saban. Nick Saban was the runner-up. He was the runner-up, the second choice. Hey, New Orleans, the global manufacturing giant Latrim, born, bred, based out of New Orleans, still is, over in Elmwood. They are hiring. And it's not like 2 or 3 job openings on that website. Dozens and dozens of job openings, Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Go to the website right now. They got you covered on the South Shore in Elmwood. You North Shore folks, Latrim has a Hammond facility. And yes, they're hiring there as well. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our Top Bench and More exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms, with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson on a Monday, winding down your day. Why don't you head to Katie's in Mid-City? What a great wind down spot. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Big New Orleans portions, New Orleans specialties, old school. A Mid-City mainstay, Katie's. And don't forget you folks out in Harahan, Elmwood, Old Jefferson, River Ridge, the Katie's of Harahan, Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue, right in the bend in the road, the curve in the road. The Katie's of Harahan, Bienvenue, and yeah, Katie's in Mid-City. It is Monday, another Martell Monday. Brett Martell joins us for a few minutes on the program. Brett is with the Associated Press now for about a quarter century. What's happening, Brett? How can folks check out your stuff at the AP?
Hey, Corey. They could use the AP News app on a smartphone, or they can go to apnews.com on a laptop.
What if you have a dumb phone, Brett?
Yeah, then I would. Obviously, sometimes my stuff appears in print in the region. But other than that, I guess on the laptop, apnews.com or Google News or even Twitter.
I think my mom's got a dumb phone. It's a big flip phone thing.
I say laptop or desktop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brett Martell's with us. Hey, Brett, before we get into it, I was about to tweet this during the Saints game yesterday, but I was like, no one's going to like this tweet. I was about to say, win or lose, what a great game this is. That Saints-Seattle game was absolutely that was a great NFL game yesterday. Both teams really grinding, both teams wanting to win. Pretty well coached, competitive, a lot of talent on the field. I think Seattle's a pretty good team. I thought they were just maximizing Geno Smith. He fits in with that system really well. Just a great NFL game, Saints win or lose. But, yeah, that wouldn't have been a popular tweet.
Well, wouldn't have been popular among Saints fans, but any neutral fan would have appreciated it. And I appreciated all the action as a, supposed neutral observer and journalist.
Yep.
Look, I go to a lot of these games, and it's not my job to be emotionally invested. It's my job to write about great performances, right? And I'm kind of a correspondent to the world from New Orleans, and so a lot of my audience is by nature neutral anyway. But yeah, you're looking at each team kicking a 56-yard field goal. You're looking at a number of touchdown plays. They went for 35 or more yards. Two touchdown runs of 60 or more yards. So just a lot of really compelling, exciting, and sometimes crazy football.
Yep. Lead changes back and forth, high scoring, going down to the wire, basically. No, just a really entertaining game. And the Saints did win. I thought Andy Dalton had a solid game. I thought Alvin Kamara had a really good game. And then Taysom Hill had the game of his life. Literally, like the game of his career so far. You hope you can get more of Taysom Hill out of that. The Swiss Army knife gimmick, he's as good as it gets when you utilize him properly. Starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, the flip side of that, Brett, as utterly ridiculous as something can be.
Yeah, right. It was his best game in terms of how he was used, and And the amount of plays he's on the field, I mean, if you look at the yards per play that he accounted for, it was
ridiculous.
Definitely, yeah, off the charts. And so, I mean, he has had a good record as a starter. He's had some good wins as a starting quarterback. But yeah, I mean, over the course of that game, if you look at all the offensive positions, he had a lot of plays that went nowhere, and he had some plays that worked out. He never really lit it up throwing the ball. He wasn't a guy that could just come out there and throw for 300 yards at any time. He had to get a lot of his yards with those design QB runs, whether he was starting or doing what he did yesterday. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to look at what his strengths are, what the flow of the game is, and they started riding him, I think, a little more because he was having success, and they were able to call more of those plays, and he was able to deliver.
And then the touchdown pass is fantastic, right on the money to the tight end. In the perfect spot. He just zipped it right in there. I mean, Brett, when you're a starting quarterback, there's pressure to go, 18 of 24. When you're Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife, and they call a pass play, there's not that pressure, I don't think, on him where you got to complete it, and obviously he wants to. I just think more relaxed. It's his natural position. The Swiss Army knife thing where he's tight end, H-back, running back, slot receiver, kickoff return man. I mean, he's quick, he's fast, he's big. We think about like Kamara or maybe like Christian McCaffrey with Carolina. They're versatile. They can do a lot. They're like what, Brett? 5'11", 210, 215. Taysom Hill's like 6'3", 230. He's a 4'5", 40 guy. He's quick and fast, good hands, understands the game. Pretty incredible performance yesterday. Plus, he's not a spring chicken. He's what, 31?
32 now.
Yeah, 32. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What a game.
So, yeah. Well, they'll have some interesting decisions to make. I mean, he's listed as a tight end. He's only caught one pass for 2 yards all season long. They want to get him more involved in the tight end game. But Dennis Allen said today that he really kind of envisions doing, seeing more of what Taysom Hill did on Sunday throughout this season. And then they have a decision to make when Jameis Winston is healthy.
Yeah.
And Allen indicated that he thinks that Dalton has been really efficient in these two games.
How do you yank Andy Dalton if he has games like he had yesterday? It's not like the greatest game. He had that interception, which wasn't good. And Kamara was open in the flat on that play. But, he had overall a pretty good game besides that.
Yeah, overall a good game in both games. I mean, the first game, they came down to a missed kickoff, 2 posts, basically, right? And they lost at the end by 3 points. His second start, they won. And they put, 25 points up in the first one and 39 points up in the second. I realized a lot of that was Taysom Hill, but the offense still had to control the ball for a lot of the game, and the offense had the ball for 37 plus minutes.
Yep.
So a lot of that was Andy Dalton. They were 8 of 14 on third down. They've been above 50% on third down. The 2 games that Dalton has started, they've taken far fewer sacks. Their completion percentage has been higher. Their interception percentage has been lower. There's a lot of things you have to take into account here.
Yep, you're right. Brett Martell's with us on the program on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you on radio, on TV, on YouTube. We broadcast every day from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Honest. They're not going to rip you off. Experts. They diagnose it right and fix it right. Come immediately. They know you're inconvenienced, stressed out. They're going to get it done for you as soon as possible. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. It is a Martell Monday. Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Boy, Brian Kelly and LSU just got throttled by Tennessee back on Saturday morning.
Yeah, didn't look too good. It didn't look too good from the opening kickoff, really, and everything just went wrong from there.
No.
They could have played a much more competitive first half, and sometimes you never know how young athletes are going to respond to the pressure and to the different flow of the game. Obviously they spotted them 10 points right off the bat. Then they squandered, they didn't kick a field goal when they could have. And when they went for it on 4th and 4, and they narrowly failed to get that first down. Kelly, felt they had to be aggressive. You can't really begrudge them the decision. And just
I don't, Brett. A lot of people were critical, like you need to punt in that position. LSU needed to do all of that, and they would win the game like 28-27. Like all those things worked.
But here's
they're
the
outmanned.
thing,
They're outgunned.
If they make that field goal and don't go for it on 4th and 4 from the Tennessee 14, then they're down 10-3, and then they went from being they were down 20 to 7 at one point and had the ball in the Tennessee 45-yard line in the last minute of the first half, and you think, oh, maybe they'll get a field goal out of this, be down 20-10. Well, they went for it on 4th down. They got sacked and gave up a field goal, 23-7.
Yep.
And of course, Tennessee's getting the ball to start the second half. But that was a 6-point swing there. So, they very easily could have gone into the halftime, maybe down by 10 or fewer points. But even then, you look at the whole flow of the entire game and you think, well, so then they would have lost by 2 touchdowns instead of 4.
Tulane's got 5 wins on the season already. That surpasses all of last year by a few games. 5-1, Brett.
Yeah, one more to get bowl eligible, and they'll most certainly get it. I mean, it would take a miracle for them not to win another game at this point. They're going to be favored in most of the games they play. There'll be a couple of tough ones, though. But right now, they are, undefeated in the conference and clearly in contention to win the conference. They got more votes in the AP poll that came out on Sunday than LSU did.
Yeah, no, they did.
Kansas State's a real football team. They're beating people, and Tulane beat them at Kansas State. So it's kind of legitimate. I mean, they're not. I don't know if they'll ever even crack the top 10. Well, they're going to have to keep winning, but they could crack the top 25 at some point. And look, after all they've been through the last 20 years, that would be very uplifting, I think, for this program.
LSU in the AP's 39th, Tulane's 32. In the coaches poll, Tulane's 31, and LSU is 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 in the coaches. So Tulane is ahead of LSU in both polls right now.
Yeah, it hasn't happened a lot since 1998.
Nope.
So,
Anyway, pretty cool stuff.
It's nice to see them doing well. And look, that Michael Pratt came back from injury, played extremely well. The defense is really legit for Tulane. Nick Anderson, incredible defensive back, and making plays all over the place. They're an exciting team to watch. Hopefully they can get some better crowds over there at that really beautiful stadium.
Yeah, that was a shame. The other day was sort of embarrassing. They kept the TV cameras low. Even the television commentator was like, come on, New Orleans, come support this team. And that's not good when that's being said by the announcer during the broadcast. Hey, Brett, kind of not surprising, I guess, but Pelican fans showing up for exhibition basketball in New Orleans, that's rare.
Yeah, but Pelican, New Orleans people in general, even sports fans or not, I think do show up for good stories and elite performers, personalities, celebrities, whatever you want to call them. And Zion Williamson is that, right? I mean, he's a huge international story. He's healthy. He seems intent on coming back really strong this year. And people, after watching that playoff run without him late last year, really want to see what happens with him, and his injection of force and ability, and especially, on the inside and everything that he can do.
Brett, we're still waiting on a weight loss number. Where is it? What are you media guys doing? I think it's 25, 30 pounds from last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, they don't like talking about it.
Of course.
It's really weird. Yeah, they don't like talking about it.
No, because it's dramatic. I think someone just has to, to Zion, just be like, Zion, man, you look like you're really slimmed down in the offseason, especially since like you were a freshman at Duke or something. What did you play at Duke and maybe your first year here with the Pels, and what are you at now? I mean, I don't know how he's going to not answer that.
They list the weights. The problem is they're listing his weight at 284, which is the same thing they listed it as his rookie year.
Exactly.
But obviously his weight has fluctuated a lot since then. It's gone up and now it's down.
Yep.
And they, they're just not going there. So yeah, eventually it'll come out.
Yep. No, exactly. And I think it's significant, and it just it's good to see. Zion Williamson is locked in, loaded, focused. Everybody stays healthy. This Pelicans team could have a special season. Hey, Brett, real quick, how do folks get your AP stuff?
Yeah, right. APnews.com on a desktop, laptop, and the AP News app on a smartphone. And if you have a dumb phone, well, maybe you're out of luck. I don't know. But
Blue Boy's saying he's got a smartphone and he's already downloaded the app.
All right, good. Sounds good.
Brett, a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, man. That's Brett Martell from the AP. Thanks to Jason, and thanks to you for listening and watching 93.9 FM New Orleans. See you mañana. Enjoy the weather.